Okay, I'm going to go over
Alright, so
context,
this video
unity
is
and
about
variety,
visual
visual
potential.
hierarchy,
Just wanted to
and
show my
encoding.
infographic
So for
first.
context,
And
the central
then start
message of my
off
infographic is
with my
information about
models.
teenage pregnancy in North Carolina.
So
So
number
some ways that I
potential
organize
is
that
I wanted to kind of
information was
work
by
directly
year.
off
So a
of
lot
my
of my
original
data
layout,
is
which right over
aggregated
here
from the
kind
year
of says 1 in
2011.
22, 1 in 8,
And
it
a
kind
lot of
of
it is shown
highlights
through birth rate. So that was kind of a standard way of
the one
showing
number in that
teenage
many
pregnancy. It's actually
to
the amount of births
exploit
per
the visual
1,000
potential.
females.
So for numbers, you want to
So the
show
numbers
how
display
much
and
or
the
how
location
many
display both give
visually.
pregnancy information
So
through
I
birth rates.
went.
Another way that I kind of
So when I
aggregated my
started off, I
information
kind of did the
was
exact
that it
same
was
thing.
based
I
in North
had
Carolina. So
a list of figures, and then the
everything
number
but
was actually
the
filled
relationship
in.
display is actually data directly from
So I
North
wanted to kind
Carolina.
of show
The
ethnicity.
one
And it wasn't
change in that
really,
is actually the
it wasn't really
relationship
working because there was
display.
no demographic
It deals
information in there.
with
It wasn't showing
a
how
monetary
many
value,
of
which actually
them
nothing
were
else on
African
the
American. It was just
display
showing the
deals with,
percentage
but
of them that were
also
African American.
with my source, when I
So what I
chose
ended
a
up
single
doing
parent
was just
household
creating one
making
figure
less
for
than
each ethnicity
$60,000 a
that had
year,
a high birth rate.
it
And
only
then
could give
instead of
me
having a
information
number filled in,
nationally
I just had a
rather
kind of
than
percentage of the
regionally
figure
or
filled in.
based on
So the
state.
number
And it's actually the most recent
potential
data,
is
so that would be more
exploited
from
by the filling
2014
rather
rather than
than the
based on
number of
2011.
figures. So then going
That's
to
context.
appearance. So I wanted something to fit in this little
So for
place where they
unity and
had the
variety,
national rank, but I didn't
the
want to
color
put the
scheme,
national
I
rank there
have kind of
because I thought that
a
the way that they
sequential
numbered
use
it
of
was a little
browns,
bit
but then
confusing.
also
So
a
I wanted
primary color
something
scheme
to
going on.
fit there, but I wanted to create
And the
something
browns,
more
all
like
of the
this
browns
with
are
the
repeated,
plane
so
flying over
either
Australia
their
because I
background
thought that
color in
um,
two places, or they're
it
used for
exploited visual
background and
potential because it's
text.
like I can
They're all
kind of figure
repeated
out what's
throughout
going
in
on there
different
without actually
places.
looking at the title.
The primary colors, none of them
So with
carried any
mine,
necessary connotation with them.
I started
So in each
off
image, they're all
actually
used in different
with
proportions, different
North
reasons.
Carolina and then the
But the
stork
same three
flying over
colors
because I
are
thought that pretty
mirrored
much mirrored
everywhere.
the plane flying
The
over.
only
But when I showed it
color
to
that
people,
is
they
not
kind of
repeated
felt
is
that the
actually
stork
this
carried
light blue
the
up in the
wrong
corner.
connotations for an
It's
unplanned
actually from
teenage
one of my
pregnancy.
models, and I really liked
So what
it.
I ended up with,
And
I
I actually
played
don't
with
feel like it draws any
like
undue
bottles,
attention to
pacifiers,
itself,
stuff
so I
like
left
that.
it in there.
And
Even
none of
though
them
it's
really
actually not
fit, and
repeated
actually
anywhere
the
else in the
sperm one
infographic.
fit the best. And
I also used text
without even actually looking at the
to
title, I
create a
can
little
tell that
bit
it has
of
something to do
variety. All of
with
my
pregnancy or
labels and
babies,
titles
and
are
I can
in
tell that
kind
it
of a
has to
bold
do
sans
with the state
serif.
of North
And all
Carolina,
of my
and
body
I can tell that
text,
just by looking at
subtitles,
this
and annotations
appearance image rather
are
than looking
in
at the
this
title.
italicized serif font.
Alright, moving
For shapes,
on for
I
location.
used
So
a
actually,
lot of rounded shapes. So
in
the
this middle
corners are all
section of my
rounded
original
corners,
layout, it
which also
had the
mirrors kind of
counties
the
within
circles
the
of
state,
the
and then it had the
figures,
birth rates,
bellies,
but
and
instead of
heads. The circles
showing
within the
them visually, it
relationship
just had this
display, the
kind of
circles in the
list of bars, which
appearance
I didn't
display.
think did a very
But
good
to kind of
job of
offset
showing
that,
it.
I also
So
added
what
some sharp
I
edges.
did
So kind of the title banner, I didn't round the edges
was,
on
well, I
that.
actually started originally with
The location
showing the
display, just the
counties
shape
within
of
North
North
Carolina,
Carolina
and
and
then
the
showing
shapes of the
North Carolina
counties
within the United States.
are these really jagged
But I
shapes, and
thought
so I kind of wanted
the
to mirror
North
that
Carolina and
also
counties ones was more
in
informative.
these sharp
And I
90-degree
actually started off
angles
with kind
of
of a
the
sequential
connection lines
coloring,
in my relationship
and
display
then
as
as I
well.
moved on,
Besides this
these
left
different colors
column
actually
for
just fit into the
the
infographic more,
over
so it was
there, I
actually
kind of
more
created a unity
just
in
kind of a
size, but other
balanced
than
choice
that,
on that one.
I have a lot of variation in
But
my
the visual
size
potential
for
is
images
exploited because you
throughout
can
the
tell,
infographic.
not only can you tell that we're talking about North
And so
Carolina
to
by
go
the
back to my
overall shape of the
models,
state, but you can also tell where the counties are, and by the different coloring you can show the birth rate within that county.
I didn't really see a lot of unity
Alright, so
going on in
relationships, I kind
this
of
display, so I was
just
actually
went
working
off on my
more
own on this one. I
from
didn't have
this, so which
something that I was kind
has
of building from.
these
But
titles
I
are
wanted to
really
show
kind of
how much
sharp
someone
edges,
would spend on their child
but
in their
then the
first year of
images
life.
within use
And
a
I
lot
just kind
of
of wanted to show
rounded
how all of those
circles.
things were
So they're
connected
kind of
and
playing off of each other, and that's kind of what I was going with my
what had the biggest
sharp and
percentage of
rounded
it and what had the
images.
smallest. So I played around
So
with a
for
few
encoding, for the most part, I used
different
color.
formats.
Like I said, none of the colors really
and this one was the one I liked,
brought
especially
any
knowing the
connotation
space
with
that I
them.
wanted to put it in.
So I kind of just chose.
And so the
I
visual
chose the
potential
encoding for each
for
image and just
numbers
kind
is
of went
actually
with it.
displayed here too,
So for the
because
most part,
the
I
size of
used
the bubbles
color for
actually
encoding.
corresponds to the
The one
number. the
exception to that,
monetary
again,
number
is
within
the
them.
relationship display.
But you can also
I
tell
was
that
able
everything
to
kind of
use
stems
size
from this
for
one
encoding,
title
so the size of
element,
the
and
bubble
then in the sub-elements,
also shows the monetary
actually,
value within,
it stems
and then
up
also
into
my
more
use of text
subcategories
in
as
that
well.
one. So all of the categories, so the category, subcategory, sub-subcategory,
Alright, and
all use
last but not
my
least, time.
labels font, which is this all caps. Then all of the monetary values
So time, I feel like
this
this one's a little bit more straightforward.
font.
I have a 30
So I was able to
year time
use
span.
color,
I just wanted to
size,
show the
and
change in
font for my
pregnancies, and then
encoding.
within pregnancies, both live births and
Visual
abortions,
hierarchy. I feel
and
like
just kind of
that
show
goes
that they are
mainly
declining,
from
but still obviously a
sizing, but
problem.
also for me, here, I'll
And
start
so
at
it
the
is
beginning.
showing that, yeah,
So when I first saw it,
visual potential of
I kind
over
of saw
time,
this
what the number
horizontal
is, and
title
kind of
bar up at the
showing
top, and then coming down from
that
that, I saw these
visually.
three
Alright,
kind of
that's visual
columns,
potential.
which is kind of how I worked with my infographic. And after going from the title, for me, I go straight to text. I'm a really text-heavy person. So for me, the first image I go to is this location display over here. It's really detailed, and it's surrounded by this text, so I feel like I'm going to get a lot of information from that. So my eye naturally goes there. After that, this middle display, it has a different background color. It's also just its mere size draws my attention. Um, so I kind of I'm moving from right to left and end up on this left corner over here where the images are smaller. They're more ordered. So when I get over here, I just kind of go from top to bottom. This way of looking at it is a little bit at odds where you kind of want to go to an image and read it left to right. But the meaning of each of them, I feel like the way it's read is understandable with the message. I feel like this really detailed information over here gives you a good base. And then the middle image shows you kind of the effects of teenage pregnancy, and then there's a little bit of additional information over here. So that is how I read it.